Hi, everyone. Hello, everybody. Happy Tuesday, everyone. Happy Tuesday, everyone. Hi, everyone coming in. Hello, Kibros. Destin Tycoon. Pepper T03. Hello, Miss Adirubigwe. How are you doing? Hello, Mr. Michael. Hi, everyone. Coming in. Say hello. When you come in, say hello. Say hello. Coming in, say hello. Hello, people. Hello, TL Connect Group, Elf Makeup 3. Hello, Instagram. Hello, Facebook and YouTube. Happy Tuesday, everyone. I think it's Tuesday, right? It's Tuesday, right? Listen. Hi, Mr. Roland. How you doing? Hello to you. How's the family? Hi, everyone. I think it's Tuesday. Y'all just, hey, Pepper T. I'm good. How are you? Um, work with me. Work with me. So thank you. Mother's Day was good. Mother's Day was good. Always. Hello, Manuel. How you doing? Um, I'm telling you, mothers are a special breed. Like y'all cannot this. I know fathers do a lot and all that, but there is a reason why God decided that women were gonna be the ones to carry a child and all that good stuff, right? And I say good stuff, and I use the word good loosely, because pregnancy ain't funny. It is not. It's not funny. But anyway, come on in, everyone. Let's talk immigration. I hope all you great mamas, thank God, Mr. Erland, absolutely. Things are always going to look out for you. Trust me on this one. We're going to come all the way to just rejoice. Um, Thank you, Mr. Budu. But listen, it's Tuesday. It's my Monday. So I do family law in the state of Alabama as well. And so I represent, I think everything all areas of my practice is just also is fighting. Well, that's what you do it. Litigation. You're always fighting somebody. But divorces and y'all see this gray hair in my head. It's not just uh it's about clients too. It's more specifically family law clients. Because y'all don't understand what people fight about. Imagine having to go to court, having to argue because somebody wants a dog and the other person doesn't want a dog and one person wants a cat. And yeah, those are the kind of things I do in family law. It's like, oh Lord Jesus, you can't pay me enough. But today was one of those days. And I happened to be a witness on the stand in another case that, so in the state of Alabama, whenever there's a child involved in a family law, domestic relations case, custody, child support, whatever the case may be, most courts will appoint a guardian ad litem who is also in our state an attorney. So only attorneys can be guardian ad litems. Guardian ad litems represent the interest of children in divorces, interest of incapacitated adults in probate cases and all that. And so I am also, we get certified each year. You get certified and get recertified each year. And so I'm a guardian ad litem. And so I get, hired or appointed in cases. And so I had one of my cases today where I was a guardian, and whenever I'm the guardian ad litem, I hardly, probably once before, years ago, get called and subpoenaed as the witness. And so I went to court minding my own darn business, only to be told by the attorney in one of the cases that I was the child's attorney saying, hey, I sent you a subpoena yesterday. Did you get it? No, I did not. Well, you're here now, so I'm going to serve you one. I need you to get on the stand. I say, I'll be damned. I'm the worst witness ever. I'm the one in the witness stand that is questioning the attorney questioning me, because that's what I do. Like, that's what I know. And so I thought today was going to be a better day. Let's just say it was not because Rachel is her name, and it didn't go well. Because I was like, well, obviously, as you would know, and the judge is like, Miss Only, you are answering the questions. You're answering the questions, not asking the questions. I'm like, yeah, that's true. That's what my day is as being. So, excuse me if I feel like it's being, yeah, all over the place. But anyway, hi everyone. This is Attorney 𝒊𝒎𝒎𝒊𝒈𝒓𝒂𝒏𝒕, immigration lawyer based in Alabama, representing immigration clients in all 50 states. Got an immigration case. My firm handles that case type. We can do represent immigration clients regardless of the state you live in. If we can help you with your immigration case, let us know. Our contact number is 334-341-4475. Visit our website also at 𝒊𝒎𝒎𝒊𝒈𝒓𝒂𝒏𝒕. I always say the fastest way to get me is to send me an email. If you're on Instagram, YouTube, or Facebook, my email address is scrolling across the screen. For Instagram, it's aos@𝒊𝒎𝒎𝒊𝒈𝒓𝒂𝒏𝒕. You can also send a text to our office number 334-341-4475. Send a WhatsApp message. Like and share our Facebook page. Follow us on TikTok, Instagram. Subscribe to YouTube channel. She's everywhere. I'm everywhere. But anyway, good evening, Mr. Burnett. How you doing? Okay, people, come on. Let's talk immigration. If you have questions, you know the drill. Put them in the comment section. We will get to them as soon as much as I can. Y'all, I can always answer all the questions, but disclaimer, questions answered or just general information. If you need anything specific to your case, you've got to set up a proper consultation. Okay. Oh, before I forget, someone was asking me the last time on Thursday, what I've said this before, what the tattoo on my wrist says. Y'all, my skin is a bit ashy. Black skin, if we don't use moisturizer, so I've been everywhere today. Well, it basically just says God's own. God's own. I don't know why I keep having this on Instagram. We would say poor connection, but I have my Xfinity is back. There shouldn't be any problem. Anyway, so let's talk immigration. Let's talk immigration. I think I see the person I've been trying to look for. Hey, Miss Manuela, how are you? Okay, let's talk immigration. This evening I want to talk about, it's almost like I haven't spoken about VAWA in a while, so let's do that tonight. What is your option when abuse occurs while an I-130 is pending? What options do you have? Good evening, how you doing? What options do you have? What is your option when abuse occurs while I-130 is pending? A lot of people do not know, and I've found that out, and I keep finding that out, where you have a regular marriage-based case and you now suffer abuse, and I'm seeing people having to start. Hey, Miss Taiwo, how are you? I'm seeing people having to start their case all over again when they file a VAWA case, when you can save yourself attorney fees and filing fees by making a switch. How do you make a switch? So what option do you have when abuse occurs while an I-130 is pending? Basically, unless you're living under a rock, an I-130 is filed by your spouse in a regular marriage base. Okay, so you get married. The fastest way, as we all know, of getting your green card is by marriage. So that basically is, well, mothers or fathers or citizens and all that, but for the most part, people who get married. Your spouse files an I-130. Based on that I-130, you file a green card application, which is your 485. Now, I've seen, God knows how many. I live, eat, and breathe immigration. Oh, by the way, let me tell you guys something. 9 years ago, I put a post earlier. 9 years ago today, leaving the house in the morning, and I said to God, because you said that. And when I did, so I graduated from Mississippi College School of Law. Went to law school in Nigeria. I had to come back here and do a master's degree. But listen, you wonder why my hair is gray. That's why. Anyway, went to law school again, got my master's degree. The day of my graduation, May 10, 2013, on my way, I woke up that morning and I said, so let me back up. When I was in school for my master's degree, that was the very first, when I lived in Massachusetts, Worcester, Massachusetts to be exact, I worked in an immigration law firm. And so that's where I got my passion about immigration, because the guy filed a visa, a H-1B visa for me. So I was able to really, really get a firsthand experience of what it felt like and seeing people's lives change. And so it's like, that's what I want to do. And so that's where my immigration law started. And then having to go through, because I came in on a visitor visa, then I went on H1, J2, H4, yeah, permanent residency and citizenship. Been there, done that. So I get it. But anyway, so I always knew that somehow I wanted to get more education about immigration. And so when fast forward, master's degree, 2011 is when I started. In 2013, graduated. That was the first time in the history of Mississippi College School of Law where for the first time they offered immigration law. They offered immigration law for the first time in the school's history. I don't believe in coincidences. I believe in you speaking to God from your mouth to God's ear and prophesying what you want. It may take forever. Listen, people, I was supposed to take the New York bar in 2003. That's when I registered. Life happened, got married, became a mother, put that in the bag, but was a stay-at-home mom. It took me 14 years before I finally took the state bar, New York State bar in 2017. Never give up, because I was like, life happens. But anyway, so when I went back to school and they offered immigration law for the first time, I was like, this is not a coincidence, because God knows this is what I want to do. And I was, in the meantime, because I had worked in an immigration firm, I was helping family members and friends and putting their paperwork together, but I had no license yet. But anyway, so when I graduated, I was like, it was a very, very detailed course for the whole year. And so I learned, and I was going to my graduation, May 10, 2013, and I was driving, and I was saying that, I know you're going to use me. I do a lot of meditation and praying in the car when I'm by myself. And I was telling, I was telling and speaking, and like, I know, God, you're going to do something. This immigration, there's a reason why I'm doing this course. There's a reason why it's the first time that this school is offering it. And then I was able to join AILA and all that. Y'all, when I tell you, I want to say 10 miles away from the school when my car was rear-ended on the interstate I-20. And when I sit here today and just remember the faithfulness of God, let me give you a bigger picture. The lady who hit my car, who rear-ended my car, and it was a crossover SUV I was driving, so it's not an itty bitty car. To tell you, and my car was completely stopped because there was another accident in front. So the traffic was at a complete stop. And I was just, reading, listening to music and checking whatever. The next thing I remember was I had a burn all over my I felt a burn all over my chest. And the next thing I remember was I was on the road, like literally on the road. Somehow I had been taken out of my vehicle that was rear-ended, and the lady who rear-ended me actually ended up the impact through her car in the median, where it was completely smashed this way, and they call them jaws of life. They had to come to cut her open to get her out. And when I tell you that, the scar I had on that day, faintly I can still see it. But when I tell you, people, that's the only scar, only bruise, only mark that I had in that terrible accident where my car was completely totaled. Like it went from there to salvage. And the guy who came and says, you've got to have somebody's praying for you. And I said, I don't remember the whole graduation ceremony. I don't remember. I don't have a video, but the only thing I have was the photo that I took. My friend, it was a group photo. My friend took one of me and Giuliano. I can never forget his name. And he goes, he was talking to me. I could not respond to because I could not hear him. My whole mind was like, what the heck was that? How did I get to my graduation? They came pick me up. And I said, come bring the son. First of all, I was arguing in true attorney way, arguing with the paramedic. Says, I've got to get you to the ER. I was like, oh, no, I ain't going nowhere. I'm the Nigerian kid. I ain't going nowhere. I've worked this hard. I am going to make my graduation. Y'all can come and get me after, but I'm going. But anyway, I say this to say this. So every May 10, it's a reminder of God's faithfulness. Every May 10 is a reminder that I know beyond a doubt that there is a purpose that he has kept me for. And I pray that we all fulfill our destiny. And I pray we all fulfill our purpose in life. But anyway, back to immigration. So when you file an I-130, your spouse files that. And based on that, you file a 485, which is a green card application. And you can file your work permit and travel advance parole, which we had 2 approvals today. It was a busy day today. But sometimes, amen to that, sometimes life happens. Y'all, a lot of people actually suffer abuse more than you know. 85% of my clients that are my VAWA clients are African males. And the other higher percentage are Caribbean male by choice, because I know based on our culture, those are the group of people who will not admit that they're going through abuse. God is a good God. That will not admit that it's a cultural thing. There's the ego, there's the pride, there's the shame. And you've got to know I can tell whenever I start a consultation, I can tell there's a whole lot. And then when I start to pry, and I'm one that asks a lot of questions, like things you didn't know, I would like, oh, okay. So people suffer abuse. And so when things begin to change in your marriage, and now you feel like you're stuck in that marriage because now you're dependent on your spouse, based on the fact that a 485, an application for your green card, is not a standalone application. That application must rest on something, meaning there's got to be a foundation for that will be the basis of you filing to adjust your green card. Is it asylum? Is it a I-130? Is it a VAWA case? Is it DV lottery that you won? Were you granted that in immigration court? Is it an I-140, national interest, or employer-based, employer filed? You've got to have an underlying petition for your green card application. In marriages, it is the I-130. So when you're married, and a lot of people are in marriages where the spouse begins to control them using their immigration status. Because they know they need that green card, and without the I-130 that the petitioner is in control of, there's nothing you can do. So, what option do you have when abuse occurs in a marriage when you have an I-130 pending? The option you have is to see if you qualify for VAWA. VAWA is a way where you can go from that I-130 and take away your spouse. Take them away from the driver's seat You'll be in control. You get in the driver's seat by filing an I-360, which is a self-petition based on abuse. Now, how do you do that? This is the error a lot of people make. They say an attorney told them that they have to start all over again. Sometimes that may be best, depending on what has gone on. However, what I do in my firm is, if I can save you, listen, legal fees are not inexpensive. Filing fees are on top of that. If I can save you additional attorney fees, why not? So if you have a pending I-130 that your spouse has filed, based on that, you have filed your green card application. You've now suffered abuse. The option you have is to convert your spousal filed petition to a self-petition, which is from I-130, you file an I-360. That pending 485, because it's got to be attached to something, you would ask USCIS to now transfer your 485, take it away from the I-130, and now put it on top of your I-360, so that your I-360 becomes the new foundation that your I-45 is attached to. That saves you additional attorney fees of filing that for you. That helps you to keep your work permit if you have one pending. That helps you to keep your advance parole if you have that pending. That saves you filing fee for the new I-45. The way you do that is you have to send in a written request. Now, 99% of the time, USCIS will grant that request because they know a lot of people are in marriages where it becomes violent, it becomes abusive, and it saves that self-petitioner who is struggling already, saves them filing fees, saves them time, saves them money. You have to make the request that they transfer your pending 485 to a VAWA case. If you're yet to file a VAWA case, then you ask them to hold your 485 in abeyance. And once you file your VAWA petition, you have your receipt notice, send a copy of that to USCIS and say, here is proof that I have filed for VAWA. So basically what happens to your 485? It stands there. It's like it's held in suspension. You know, it's suspended. It just waits until there is an approved petition that is going to now be the basis for you to apply to adjust your status. That's the option you have when abuse occurs while an I-130 is pending. Now, another thing you should know is this. When you have a pending I-130 that you are the beneficiary of, the law allows you to specifically ask USCIS to transfer your priority date, because as long as you were the beneficiary of that I-130, the law allows you to ask USCIS to transfer the priority date of your I-130 to your 360. So if you have a friend, because I get that, you know, well, there's no Lucky in Shomoli in the US. I'm just saying, Maryland, you know, Boston. The point is, some people will say, oh, my friend's VAWA petition got approved in a year. VAWA is taking an average with this new processing time, so it's very, very specific. It is taking no less than 2 years when you have a new VAWA case. That is the VAWA petition, not your green card inclusive. When you file the green card with your VAWA, your green card application, the 485 is just sitting. It's just waiting. It just allows you to work. It allows you to travel, but it's just sitting there. It's not doing anything because it cannot do anything until there's a reason for them to approve that. That can only be a reason to approve your 485 when there is a petition that is approvable as the basis of the 485, right? So it's just sitting there doing nothing. The VAWA petition itself, by USCIS present times, it's taking them an average of 26 to 27 months to process about 80, based on 80% of cases they have processed. That's the average time it's taking them. So if your friend in Boston or your friend in Illinois or Chicago, Illinois says, got mine approved in a year, the question you need to ask them is this: did they have a previously pending I-130 that they were the beneficiary of? Did they switch from that previously filed case now to a self-petition? If that's the case, what happens in that situation is, because you are the beneficiary of a previously filed I-130, when you transfer to a 360 and you specifically ask USCIS to transfer your priority date, now your new priority date for your VAWA case is going to be the same priority date that your I-130 was filed. What that does is it bumps you up the queue. So basically, it will be like you filed your I-360 the same day you filed the I-130. So for those who had an I-130 pending for a while, you're going to gain that time because you're basically transferring that waiting time to your 360. So don't let nobody fool you about nothing. Just saying. But that is the option you have if you have a pending I-130 and abuse occurs in your marriage. You're able to file a self-petition and transfer your case. It is very, very similar as well. Let me just put this in and I'll do another video on that. When you're going from a 2-year green card to a 10-year green card, hey, Nikki, 2-year green card to a 10-year green card, when people say, okay, I filed a 751, my spouse has been abusive, and then my lawyer says I have to file a VAWA case. And I'm thinking sometimes, why would you file an I-360 when technically VAWA is embedded in a 751? If your spouse, so look at it this way. When you file a joint petition for your 751 to remove the conditions of residency, it's like filing a marriage base where your spouse has to file the I-130 and you file the application for green card. When abuse occurs in your marriage while your 751 is pending, meaning now your spouse has abused you and you're figuring out what's the option. Your option is not to start all over again, because when you file VAWA, you're starting from scratch, meaning you're forfeiting the 2-year green card you already had. You're forfeiting your permanent residency status, basically. But what you need to do in that situation is you switch to a self-petition. Just like in a regular marriage base where there's abuse that occurs when you file VAWA. In a regular marriage base, you don't have a green card to start with. You're still waiting for one. In a 751, you already have a green card. You just need to get the permanent one that is for 10 years. So while you switch to a VAWA case in a regular marriage base, you switch to a self-petition in the 751 because it is still the same requirement like you would have to prove in a VAWA case. So if you can prove, if you have evidence to prove a VAWA case, you have evidence to prove extreme cruelty in a 751, when all you can do is request that they change the joint petition to a self-petition based on abuse. Simple. This is not rocket science. It's very straightforward. That's it. But anyway, so that's what you do if you are in a situation like that. Okie dokie. Let's go to questions. I talk a lot. I know. My oldest kid, SJ, he's 17. He doesn't talk much. I talk for everybody. TJ, on the other hand, my 11-year-old, let's just say he's his mama's child. He doesn't talk a lot because TJ was born in the South. He was born in Mississippi. He's a nice Southern baby. He's a Southern baby. So he's not, he's got Southern draw. Like he doesn't talk fast like I do. My oldest kid was born in Chicago, so he's a city kid. But this one, so you would hear everything TJ is saying in the sense of he wants you to hear and emphasize his words, so you're not confused and all that. And he's his mother's child. Like he says, he's thinking it and he's saying it. Yeah. I'm just glad he didn't come as a girl. Just glad. Okay. Miss Abuda says, I filed for VAWA June 2021. Eventually last week, I called to expedite my EAD, which was approved, but on the status not showing update of car being produced. What can I do? How did they tell you it was approved? So did they send you a notice? What is it? What's going on? So if you called last week, then you can do a follow-up call and see. Do a follow-up call and see what's going on. But if it was just last week, I would say give them 30 days because it's one thing for them. So just to be clear, it's one thing for you to get the approval to expedite your case. Then once you get that approval, it may take them about another 30 days to actually affect processing your case, and then you see the status change, if that makes sense. So, okay, no name. All right. Okay. How to check VAWA I-145 interview timeline in field offices after VAWA approved. There is nothing. There's no such category as VAWA I-45. VAWA is still a family-based adjustment of status application. So when you go to check it, you check family-based application, because that's what it is. It's a family-based application. Abused spouse, abused parent, abused child. It's family-based. So that's what you check. Okay. I was not quite correct on I. So tell me what I was wrong on I-751 and I-360. Nobody knows everything, Austin. So tell me what I was wrong, and I can correct that if you have something to correct on that. Let me know when you put alcohol. I'll see here. Bussy, I have I-36. So what you can do, so Bussy says, I'm assuming you meant I-130 approval in February 2020. I filed VAWA February 2022. I don't know if USCIS would transfer my priority date to my VAWA. Well, the thing is this, you have to, what I do in my firm is we actually, on the cover letter, we specifically request that they transfer the priority date on your I-130 and actually include a copy of the receipt notice so that they know and they can see and verify that you are the beneficiary of an I-130, and ask them to transfer your priority date to your VAWA petition. And for all that we've requested, they have done that. So that's what you would need to do. Okay. All right, let's see. I'll start from the... So SG applied for I-130, but never got approved or went to interview because my husband left and abused me. Then I applied for a new, why do you apply for a new one? I-45 and I-360. Can I transfer I-1? It's not transfer. So what you're requesting to transfer is the priority date. That's what you're requesting to transfer on your VAWA case. You're requesting them to transfer their priority date so that you can keep that priority date, and it will be like you filed your I-360 on the day you filed the I-130. Does that make sense? Damn cool. Good evening. Please, can I travel out of the country with an advance parole on my card? As long as you have a valid AP and either approved by itself or you have a combined card, then you can. Now, listen, disclaimer, every information you get here is not specific to anybody's case. I'm just saying, if you need something specific to your case, you've got to set up a proper consultation. It's $130 for 30 minutes, $230 for an hour. What we do is, if you retain our services for your case within 15 days, we credit that towards your total fees. So, but generally, and knock on wood, all my clients that have traveled out on an AP have been back in the country with no issues. So as long as you have no other issues, no inadmissibility issues, you should be fine. Because let me put it this way. When you are traveling and you're coming into the United States, you're either coming in as a permanent resident or as a citizen or as a visitor. If you're not a permanent resident, you're not a citizen, you're not an asylee, even if you need, you're not an asylee, you need something that will give you the authorization to come into the country. So if you're not someone who has a valid visa, you're not a green card holder, you're not a citizen, that's something that gives you the authorization to tender at the port of entry and say, hey, based on this, I'm allowed to come back in. That is the advanced parole. And that is basically saying this person does not have any specific status at the moment because their case is pending, or they have a basis, they've applied for humanitarian parole, whatever the case may be, and this is what allows them to come back into the country. In the case of people with pending 485, when you file an advanced parole, because your case has not been adjudicated yet, that allows you to come in when you tender that approved advanced parole at the port of entry. If you just filed for your AP, hear me loud and clear, and it's not been approved, you cannot leave the country based on a pending, yet to be approved advanced parole. Please hear me loud and clear, because you'll think, oh, why would anybody do that? It's happened. That's all. 𝒊𝒎𝒎𝒊𝒈𝒓𝒂𝒏𝒕. Can I file for divorce after applying for 10 years? That is not a yes or no question. That's something you want to sit down with an attorney to discuss the specifics of your case. If you have 2 years green card and abuse occurs, souls first in health. That's what I just talked about. I can do a full video on that, but it's very, very similar to VAWA. And I'm still waiting on Austin Okorowa to say what was not correct on I-751 and I-360. But if you're able to prove, hear me, there is no sense in filing a VAWA case and then a 751 when you can file a 751 an abuse-based waiver ground. If you're able to prove VAWA, you are able to prove a 751 abuse-based waiver ground rather than having to start from scratch. Because another thing is this, in a VAWA case, even though you get a 10-year green card outright, right? You're putting yourself back where you started. So basically, you're starting from scratch as a permanent resident. A 751 that already has VAWA enclosed in it, you do not lose. Once you're granted the 751, you get to your green card, you do not lose your 2 years that you've already gained as a permanent resident. And then if you're granted your 10-year green card based on abuse on a 751, whether or not you're still married to your abusive citizen spouse, the 2 years on as a conditional resident counts towards that time, the 3-year mark, to be able to apply for citizenship. There's a whole lot that goes in. This is something I can do in my sleep. So before you file something else, please make sure you explore what you're actually eligible for. That's it. Okay, I received a notification from USCIS for N400 saying my case is actively reviewed, but I still have VAWA pending. What does it mean? How do you have VAWA pending if you filed for citizenship? I don't. When you say VAWA, do you mean a 751 abuse-based case? SSJ, is that what you mean? Because if you're talking about VAWA completely, and sometimes in the interchangeable, people would say VAWA when VAWA to get my 10-year green card, I'm a conditional resident. So when people say that, okay, that's what you mean. Okay, so what would happen, and what I usually do is, it's good that you file the 400 naturalization because it actually helps to speed up your case. I've seen that N400 naturalization applications are actually being scheduled faster and processed faster than 751. So for instance, if they schedule you for an interview, one of the things we do is we'll request the field office, or ask them to request your 751 file. Because generally, unless you have an exemption like being in the military, but for the most part, you cannot have your naturalization approved until they have processed your 751. So what we do is request them and say, hey, this file is pending. We know you have to adjudicate this before we can get to the N400. So please have everything adjudicated at the same time. And they usually do that. I've not had anyone where we don't have the file or they haven't requested a file. Okay, so that's basically what would happen, or what I would suggest for you to do. First lady says, anyone here have where I can sign up for Yoruba classes so I can understand Cecilia Lawyer Instagram videos? For the most part, First lady, I actually put English captions on my Yoruba. Listen, I am in no position to teach anybody Yoruba language. This is a girl who, by some miracle, graduated, and my SSC exam was an A in Yoruba language, even though the essay was supposed to be on 𝒊𝒎𝒎𝒊𝒈𝒓𝒂𝒏𝒕, which is family planning. Now I know this girl, 1994, 28 years ago, wrote about child christening. I don't know how I made an A. I don't know if my mommy said she can attest that. I don't know. But that's what happened. So I ain't going to teach you about Yoruba language. But I actually do put a lot of English captions on my videos. I would say to send, like I said, send a letter or request to Vermont Service Center and ask them to do that. Souls first. Okay, I answered your question. Okay. 𝒊𝒎𝒏𝒂𝒏𝒕, can I switch to VAWA? So that's basically what we talked about this evening. I would put the video up so you can replay it, and then but whether you're or not would depend on your specific case, obviously. Let's see, what time is it? Okay. Can I travel? Okay, that means cool. I already answered your question. I have a pending marriage-based interview. Marriage-based interview was scheduled for my spouse. I didn't have an ID to present, and we were told it would be rescheduled. I have a pending marriage-based interview was scheduled, but my spouse didn't have an ID to present, and we were told it would be rescheduled. It is over 6 months now, nothing yet. I can't speak to you specific. I don't know what happened. If you have a lawyer, contact them and see, or call to say, hey, you're still waiting. If you have 2 years green card before the abuse, what do you advise? So basically, Austin, because of my job, you've written me privately. Listen, okay, I'll check WhatsApp later on. If a lot of people do not know this, but the only basis. So when you have a conditional residency card, you're supposed to wait 2 years to file the conditions, to remove the conditions of your residency. You can file up to 90 days before the 2nd year anniversary. If you are filing a joint petition, if you are filing a self-petition, abuse, divorce, you do not have to wait 2 years. Did everybody get that? If you're filing from going from a 2-year green card to a 10-year green card, and you're filing a self-petition, you're not required to wait 2 years. You can get your 2-year green card today. If you suffer abuse within the next 6 months after getting your conditional residency card, at that time, you're able to file your 751 self-petition based on abuse, even though it's not 2 years yet. The more you know. Okay. I got about 6 minutes. I still got some work to. I was talking to a client today, so I did not realize that. So he emailed me back and says, "Sister lawyer, do you realize that you sent me an email at 1:59 a.m. Central Time?" And I go, "Oh, yeah." Like everybody's sleeping in my house. It's just something about being able to work. And I think that's why today was like Monday, Tuesday, because I should have done like I try to do that. I try not to do that when I have to go to court the next day, but I had to get it done. And I have OCD, so if I don't finish something, it is like eating in my brain. It's got to be done, and so sometimes I just lose track of time. So yeah. So if I email you at 1 a.m., just ignore it. Wait till tomorrow morning. Can I invite my sister with a green card, and how long will it take? You can invite anyone to come visit your green card. It depends on if they will be able to get a visa to come visit you, because visitor visa is discretionary. Okay, people. So I want to make sure I didn't miss anybody's question. Thank you. Thank you. 𝒊𝒎𝒎𝒊𝒈𝒂𝒏𝒕. My younger brother was born in 1982. I don't know if I've told you guys. So he used to have an afro. I don't know if my mom is watching. She's probably going to tell him. My younger brother used to have an afro. And my younger brother is going to be 40 this year. It just occurred next month. Oh, my word. He's old. And he went to, what's your question? Put here. And he used to have an afro, and he was really proud of it. He's got beautiful hair. But then he finished medical school and he finished surgery residency. Oh, the hair's gone. Nobody tell him, but I just said 1982. He was born in 1980. He's going to be 40 this year. Wow. Time flies. His mom is probably going to be on. He's going to be probably going to tell him, like, hey, because I was telling him my mother's handbag. Yeah. She's probably going to like, 𝒊𝒎𝒎𝒊𝒈𝒓𝒂𝒏𝒕, no Facebook, yada, yada, yada. Oh, well, I said it. If someone ever lied to be a citizen and get a job, but will the person ever be forgiven? So if you ever claim to be a citizen, that is a permanent bar right there. Okay, people. So I think I got everyone's questions. I want to make sure I didn't miss anybody's question. I think I was able to get everybody. Yes, Nikki, mommy, thank you. Naheem is going to be 40 this year as well. Are you serious? So Naheem, Nikki, my sister from another mother, but we grew up together in 1004 Victoria Land. Hey. And our mothers were besties at that time. I don't know if they've seen each other, God knows. Anyway, so Nikki's younger brother and my younger brother were like this. So I cannot believe they're going to be 40. Like, those kids have lived 4 decades. Oh, my word. Oh, my word. Okay. All right. Never give up. I filed for VAWA in October 2018. Your case is way out in number processing times based on I make e-request on my VAWA case. Does that help? So you cannot do an e-request on a VAWA case. Even if you did one, they probably would not respond, because in order for you to make any inquiries regarding a VAWA case, you've got to write to Vermont. You've got to write in person and with your identification, because it is such a confidential process in case. They do not know who is making the inquiry. As an attorney, we have emails that we can send in hotline email where we identify ourselves and we email them directly, and they would have to check and verify our identification. And by that, I am able to get information about my clients and their requests, duplicate notices, whatever case may be. But if you're making an inquiry, never give up. You will not get a response back. Even if you get a response back, they would tell you that there is no information they can give you regarding your case. You would have to direct your questions to the appropriate service center, which they can't give you any information. So write them. If you have a lawyer in your case, ask your lawyer to send an email to the Vermont Service Center, and you just keep changing your changing your username. So that's what I would do. Never give up. Okay. Wants to know if insurance card with both names can suffice. That's part of the evidence, but just one insurance card without anything else. You know, the more good faith bona fides you have, the better. Okay. How long do they take to schedule interview after VAWA approved? My cases, and you would have to, based on my experience in my firm, it can go anywhere from 6 months to 18 months. Check processing times. There's a whole lot that goes, how busy that field office is. So there's no set time, but that's the range that we've been able to come up with in our firm based on the cases that we have. All right, people. Yeah, Ms. Abbott, you probably need to get an attorney. You're not the only one who has had that issue when you write them, and then they probably send you a notice and say, contact your lawyer or have your lawyer contact us. It's for your own safety, because there are people whose abusers actually contact Vermont Service Center and pretend to be them. So they've got to be very careful. And sometimes in being careful, they may not give you the information that you require. So for instance, you know, whenever I do a FOIA request, yo, people are just funny. Whenever I do a FOIA request for a VAWA case, unlike a regular FOIA request where I can just send a request and then they'll be verified with my client by sending them an email to verify. We can't do that with a VAWA case. In a VAWA case, I've got to send in a proof of identification as well as a notarized signature. And so it's got to be a notarized signature with proof of identification, proof of who I am, and all of that. It's the whole 9 years before I can get a FOIA request for a VAWA case. But it's for your safety, it's for your protection. You do the same. All right, people. Thank you so much for joining me this evening. Once again, if we can help you with your case, please contact our firm, 334-341-4475, VAWA, H-1B, marriage-based, asylum, extension of status, 751, what else? Yeah. And some, not all, removal proceedings. Visit our website, olalayalawfirm.com. Let's know how we can help you. And once again, it's 334-341. You'll kill me. Y'all on Facebook and YouTube, you're missing what's going on Instagram. Anyway, bye everybody.